See, try and catch block is part of your exception. Writing your own exception, that is called a custom exception. You can so you can go back and read on those topics, how we can write custom exceptions. You can write your own exception. So just like you have a string class, you can write your own string class.
Okay, okay.
Okay. It is Java, then around the Java there are so many technologies. Like now, if you have heard of this. What you call machine learning, artificial intelligence coming up. Along with that, Java, simply having Java, knowing Java is of no use. Then you need to know on the UI side, JSP, JavaScript, nowadays React. All these UI technologies are coming up. Then in the backend, you also need to know the database, Oracle, and nowadays so Oracle is a relational database. Now NoSQL is coming where structure of data is not needed, where you can have a JSON type of data, unstructured data. So for that, MongoDB is one of the database that most of the companies are using. And nowadays Spring Boot, Hibernate, microservices, cloud. So cloud nowadays, almost every company is moving to the cloud, whether it's a Google Cloud, AWS, Amazon Web Services, or Azure from Microsoft, or GCP from Google Cloud. So just knowing Java alone is not used. But yeah, since you're a fresher, they may not go too much deep into the detail. So my suggestion when it comes to the preparation of Java, so for you, every topic is important. Okay, whether you start from the core Java, so whatever you had in your engineering, that loop, string. So like I'll just give you example of string. So within string there can be close to at least 30 to 50 questions. Okay, so they'll ask you what is string buffer, string builder. What is the difference between those two? In which like in which scenario you can use the string builder? In which scenario they can use the string buffer? They can ask you to write your own string class. Okay, so string is a immutable class. Immutable means it cannot be changed. So will you be able to write your own string class? So like not exactly the string. So writing your final class. So immutable class. So now if you see within string one topic, there are so many questions that are coming up. Okay, in the same way, you'll go to the loop. So for loop, enhance for loop, the while, do while, in which case what. And then some companies they also look for your what you call the time complexity, space complexity, which comes as part of your DSA data structure. But some companies they don't go like into the algorithm and all, but they can ask you what is the space complexity, when to use for loop, when to use enhance loop. And now Java 8 coming into the picture, then you have this optional where null pointer exception and all. So we don't get it, so we use it. So core Java, you read it very thoroughly. Okay, like what will happen when you start the preparation? Okay, you'll think, okay, I read this much, this is more than enough. So when you read a theory, you also just search what you call questions, interview questions on like when you started a string. So in string, there are string buffer, string builder. So each topic when you read, you search for its corresponding interview questions in Google. For each topic, you read a theory, then you have the questions. So that way you get idea what all things they will be asking on that particular topic. So full content of data structure, where do you find? See, this content of data structure is a very big topic. Okay, DSA, you might need like any experienced guy might need at least 6 months of full time only on DSA to learn. Okay, but on YouTube there are so many channel. So there are so many channels and all free. You can use it. So like, but my suggestion is first you get thorough with your core Java. Okay, so first you read that and then you can go for the data structure, because that itself takes a lot of time. Data structure is a huge topic. So but on YouTube you'll get it many questions. And also you can like when you search in Google and all, like say interview questions for, or a mock interview for freshers and all, you'll get so many YouTube videos also. So you can go through that. So coming to the core Java, so what I suggest is right from the primitive data type to that primitive, what are the primitive data types, right? Int, long, and all. Then you have corresponding wrapper classes and all. Even on those there can be 20 plus questions. So just imagine on one single topic, if you're getting 20 plus, so core Java can have like close to 1,000. But you don't know as a fresher from which topic the interviewer might ask you. So he might ask you, okay, hash map. Okay, so what is the enhancement that is done in Java 8 hash map compared to the previous? So this kind of question. So this is a little more technical, but it's always good to know. So when you want to prove, when there are hundred of candidates who are giving interview, so if you have to get selected for that, then in that case, obviously you need to be the best. So when you need to be the best, then you can't be like the ordinary guy who is able to answer the same like depth of question. So obviously you should be proving that, okay, why you are best among the lot. So that you need to prove. So the more you read, it's not going to be useless. Okay. So any knowledge that you have, it's always good. It's going to help you in your IT career anywhere. Okay. So Java 8 is what now most companies are migrating. Though now coming of the Spring Boot microservices and all, already Java 17 it supports in Java 17. So it's always good to know in each of the Java versions what are the new functionalities or what are the new changes and all they done. So like new, we can search in Google new features in Java 6, new features in Java 8, like that 11, 17. So up to 17, if you keep updated, so you can tell that when you're answering something, when they ask about the 8, you also tell now Java or 11 is released or 21 is released, and there this new feature comes. So that way it will give a idea to the interviewer. Okay, you are updated to the latest technology as well. Though he has asked you a question on Java 8, but you are able to give him the information on Java 11 as well as 17 and 21. So that way it will help. You always need to stay ahead of the market. That is very important. So that way, when I say core Java, it is literally everything. So your next 2 or 3 months should be only to prepare the core Java thoroughly. That you literally know the every topic of it, and you are able to answer any question. So at least, so my suggestion is, March, April, May should be, and it's not that okay, I will skip one topic. This is hard and all that way. If you do it, you never know, that question might be asked in the interview, and you might get rejected for that, because you need a job, you need a lot of preparation to prepare. So first prepare, and once you prepare now thoroughly, right, in your lifetime again, now I say after 2 years you want to do the job change again, you will have to come back to core Java also. But because you have read it now thoroughly, it might not take so much time as it is taking now. So because it's a mandatory throughout your life, even say after 15 years also experience, still they will be asking you the core Java interview question. So you can't escape from the core Java. So you try and spend as much time as possible on the core Java. So core Java includes everything. Okay, so don't leave any topic. Right from I said like string literals to your string builder, hibernate. Sorry, not hibernate. String builder, string buffer to. Then it comes to your exception handling, writing your custom exceptions. So this question is very common. Okay, writing your own class. So whether it is a string as an immutable class, or writing your own. If it is exception, they're asking about the exception. Writing your own custom exception. So that means you creating your own exception. Same way, when you're writing, say, you have these data types. So in the collection, you have list, map, and all. Can you write your own map? Can you write your own linked list? To this level, writing your own. So Java developers in those versions and all, they have written it. But can you write your own? Then little bit coming to the solid principles, solid design principles. Then there are some more design patterns that are available. So read about the design patterns also. Then little bit on JUnits. JUnits are very much needed. So how we'll be able to test? So like uh, say your method does something like divided by zero. So in that case, you should be able to write a JUnits in such a way that it covers all the scenarios. That if you say A divided by B, there B, if you send it zero, then it should give us a exception. So or if you send a proper value, it should give us the result. So all kind of JUnits. What are the different versions of JUnit? Then other than that, you read little bit on the servers. So you can because you need a server to deployment all deployment. So you can read what are the servers and all. IBM is providing their server. Then WebLogic is from what Sun Microsystem. So it is Oracle, which is now handling that. Then so different servers, and then database side. So when it comes to database, also you can't like, you should be knowing, okay, how to create a table, how to join two tables, then what are the joins in a table, inner join, outer join. Then so there are so many different topics within that also. So how indexing can be done. So like say you should just be spending at least 1 week only for the database theoretically, and its corresponding interview questions. What is normalization, first normalization, third normalization, all those things. So what is a SQL versus NoSQL? So what are the databases that support SQL, and what are the databases that support NoSQL? So someone, if they ask you about the SQL database, Oracle and all, then in the same way you can also just, if you know, you can also answer on the NoSQL. So nowadays, everyone is preferring, why they are preferring. So that way, interview will tell, okay, what is needed, you have more knowledge than that. So that way, they get impressed, and they know, okay, they don't have to spend too much time on your training and all once you are into the job. So the more you prepare, That is better. So when you start from the UI side, you should be knowing HTML, CSS. So now HTML5 is coming, CSS3, then a little bit on the JSP side, JavaScript. Then you, if you learn React and all, that is good. It's obviously the added, because now only for the React itself there are so many openings and all. React. Then on the, so some of you might be working on Java, some of you might be working on Python. So this is the middle layer. So you can prepare whatever I said accordingly. You can relate Javas with maybe Python and whatever other language. On the backend side, you I said database. So database are two types: SQL, NoSQL. So in SQL, this Oracle is one of the DB that is provided. In NoSQL, I said MongoDB. So, but there are so many other databases also, so you can read on that side. So this is front end to end. So what you call a full stack developer. But along with this, there are so many frameworks that come into picture when you are working on Java. Say Spring, Spring Boot, Hibernate. So earlier there was Struts. So these are all the frameworks that you'll be using. So Spring and Hibernate are very important. Okay. So nowadays, if you have heard of these microservices, most of the things they are working on the microservices. So microservices are developed on Spring Boot, and Spring Boot is on it's built on top of Spring. So Spring is a big framework. It is also called framework of frameworks because there are so many topics and also go through the Spring as well as Hibernate. Hibernate tells how, like earlier, if you know the JDBC which connects to the database, so it uses some additional features. So a lot of coding that was to be done by the developers and all is not done in the Hibernate. So it provides all those through annotations and all, configuration and all is done. So in that also there are different frameworks apart from Hibernate where they use it. And so that is very important. So you should learn, okay, what is the Hibernate, how it connects, how those database tables are mapped to our Java entities, what are entities in Java, then how connection and all is done, what is the caching, what is the first level cache, second level cache, which is active by default, how to do the second level, all these things you can read it very thoroughly. So you should try and know, okay, in that there's something called n+1 problem in Hibernate. So when you read the interview questions and all, right, so you'll get to know, okay, I have read this much, but still it has not covered everything. When I read the interview questions, I'll get to know, okay, this question can also be asked. Then you should go back and start reading on that point. So my suggestion is first, maybe what you can do is first look for the interview questions. Simply read, just read the questions. Okay, these are the what there are. Then start the theory, because what happens if you take only question and only read questions, there's a lot of theory questions that theory part will be missing. Okay, so just okay, these are the things that can be asked. Then come back to the theory and then start reading thoroughly right from the beginning. Even like the primitive data types. So int, how many bytes it is, long how much, double. So those things also you should be knowing. Questions can be asked on that. So how conversion happen from int to long, long to int, all this kind of questions and also everything. So that, like when you go further on the higher topics and all, you might feel this is very simple and all, but that is very important. There can be many questions that can be asked on the simple topics, what you call the basics of Java. So don't miss on those things. So I said nowadays, so those who are a little bit say passed out earlier, 16, 18 and all. So I suggest latest courses and all that you can target is one is lot of openings for this UI technology, and also you can try for React, then machine learning, artificial intelligence. Lot of scope is coming up, or you can also look for the security courses and all. So security also has a good scope. So these courses will come along. So when you're learning these things, so that learning core Java and all is the basic. Okay, so that is a prerequisite. That means you need to know that. So when you go to those courses and all, so now it is just not that you if you do only the core Java or Java certification and all, but you are not aware on this latest technology. But if you do technology, so now you know the Java technology and all. Along with that, you know this new technology. So that way it will add benefit. Fake experience is the last option, I would say, but try and prepare uh, as much as possible from your side, and then give proper 3 months time for your preparation. Okay, so when I say proper, it means really you're very much dedicated to get the job, and you have no other, like if you see the guys in India, they prepare for UPSC, IS and all, right? That is like a close to 18 hours and all this one. Here you don't have to spend 18 hours and all, but at least, like, very, when you're doing, do a quality preparation. Okay, not okay, I read, okay, string is the immutable class, but then if I ask you to write your own string class, you're not able to write. or if I say, okay, what are the methods within the string, what does if now if since you have read string and all in your engineering, you should be knowing. So can anyone say what is the dot intern function does in string? Can someone quickly type and send me in chat? Let's see. Dot intern, intern. So it is one of the methods. So without, if you're not able to see without seeing Google, if you're not able to answer, means there's a lot of preparation you need to do it. So this is one of them. So today try and start writing. So coding is also very important. Okay, now I told when I say coding, in coding they might not ask you just that. Reversal of a string or Fibonacci series, this, but they can also ask you to write. And if there's something called a singleton design pattern, where in your entire application, like when you're connected to database and all in a banking application, you want to make sure that when it connects to the database, it's only one single connection done. That is one example. If I give, so suppose you have a debit card, you have a UPI, you have a net banking option in your account. There are 10,000. Okay, so bank needs to make sure that when you log in through three, like see if I have to get that, if I want to withdraw that 10,000 in three different ways, it's possibility that in the same simultaneously I can try to transfer from UPI and from net banking and from the debit card. But bank, so 10,000 if it does means if that thing that scenario if it is not handled properly, then bank, what will happen, customer has only 10,000, but then because this transaction is done simultaneously, so 30,000 get withdrawn, which is wrong. Then it's going to be a loss to bank. So bank needs to make sure that even if you log in from a multiple sources, when it hits the database, that only the one transaction that is getting executed. And because see, so now simultaneously I transfer through UPI, through net banking, and also from the debit card I try to withdraw. But whichever is the first one, for the other two, it should update database and say that, because say from debit card you remove, in UPI net banking balance is zero or is withdrawn. So this is the thing. So this kind of handling these scenarios you have to do. Okay, you as a developer. Okay, now you are a fresher, but in your thinking, when you get experience or when you're doing the coding, your thinking should be of that level. How security can be handled, how you can handle all those mischievous things. There are so many people who are trying to attack your system, trying to get um, so invalid access to your application, and also your thinking should be in that way. That is why I'm saying you should be reading about the security as well. So how you can handle, then memory, so how you can handle
So,
memory in your
Sachin,
application.
Sachin, 1 second. So, how this ATM scenario? So, how this bank withdrawal scenario works in, like, if three sources, like as you said, one UPI, phone pay, another one from Paytm, another from another app. So, if all three trying to at a time, so how it works actually in real time?
Yeah, so someone he put a transaction, so it will initiate a transaction, but there is something called singleton design pattern, okay, where we use, so that class make sure that only one thread can access the database. So there might be multiple threads to access your transactions, but it makes sure that only one thread is accessing at a time the database. So there is something a lock also on the database. So once one thread is, so it makes sure that only one thread is executing. When one thread is executing, so there is an entire lock on the object. So whatever that functionality of credit and debit is there, it puts a lock on that entire method or the class level, so that other threads they have to keep waiting until that execution is done.
Okay, okay. Mhm.
Okay, so these are things only when you read. Oh, just not that. You can just what you do is, okay. How can you design a lift system? How Facebook was designed? What are the technologies used? Or maybe how a Twitter was designed? What are the design patterns used? What are the technologies that are used? What database you used? How, like if you heard something called Kafka recently became very famous. Kafka for message transaction. Earlier it was JMS, where through JMS Java messaging services we are using. But now with this Kafka, where millions of transactions can be sent, so these are the messaging services. So there are so many technologies involved. But for a fresher, these all things will be too much. But what I suggest you start from the ground zero. Okay, so now you think you don't know anything about the Java, start from there. Someone asked, sir, after learning core Java, what should I learn? Better to learn DSA. See, there are many companies, like if you see Google and all, they'll have 5 to 6 rounds only on DSA, okay, only on data structure. But like most of the other service-based companies like Infosys, Wipro, or any other, they might not go too much deep into the DSA and all. So my suggestion is, if you want a very good company, when you already got one job, so I suggest you to go for the DSA, try to learn, but DS is not going to happen in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Okay, so there are for coding and all DSA coding, there are like Hacker Rank. There are so many other online websites where you can start practicing the program. That is also very important. Okay, so when you've done all this preparation, then comes writing the code. So in every interview question, in the end, last 5 to 10 minutes are usually 122 password cannot try with fake
Like
experience.
what are the important topics in the data structure?
Data science mostly comes on searching and sorting algorithms, because everything on Google, you or everywhere where you deal with the data, whether you search or you sort and display you.
So this collection is also part of it. Array list to set all this.
Yeah, yeah. So whatever this is there, using these, you'll be doing all the sorting, searching, and all. So in which case LinkedIn is better? In which case Map can be used? Is there anything faster than LinkedIn? So they might give a situation, say you have data for say college administration. So, so they might ask you in this way. So if it is a say you are maintaining data of a hospital or a college, so which kind of data, which kind of collections you think is the best suitable? Then in that case, it's better that we know these kind of questions also. So you know hash map is, what linked list is. But if you don't know when it is used, then your knowledge makes no sense.
Hmm.
So you should be knowing the other way also, when to use, where to use. Where can I use map? Where can I use list? Where I can use array list and where I can use linked list. So these things, because when you become a developer and all, nobody's going to like tell you in detail and all why this should be. So now you are a fresher, but just think a scenario where you have 10 years experience and you are going to review the code of say 3 years experience, 4 years experience. Now he has used linked list, but then now you need to think why he has used linked list, and if he has, is there a better way than the linked list that can be used? So these things have to come in your mind. Why? Only then you'll be able to approve his code or reject his code, or maybe provide the solution. But if you don't have the knowledge, then simply you have to like blindly approve his code. But if you know it, like the higher you go, like architecture level and all these, the topics that you thought are the basics will come into picture, like when to use string, when to use say string buffer, when to use string builder, because this has a lot of impact on the memory. Okay, that memory management comes into picture. So what are the new tools and all that are available in the market or within the Java, they were all this memory related management is done. So when to create static variables, when not to create static variables. So all these things, so if you only read it only, then you'll get to know. But I'm looking for a service based
Sir, fresher
company.
how much require data searches, sir?
Sorry.
Fresher how much require data searches knowledge?
No, no. See, freshers, like 99% of the companies or 95%, they won't ask data structure for the fresher. But for the only those companies, like now say HCL, TCS, Infosys, any other company, they will not ask you for the database. Okay, they're not going to ask you for the DSA. But some companies like so Google, Microsoft, these kind of companies, when you're trying, they're they're not bothered about what technology you know. One of my friend who is working in Microsoft, he gave almost 6 or 7 times interview. Okay, like continue 6 or 7 years,
Okay.
and he failed almost 5 times, and then finally he got into Microsoft. And he told me that at least, so when I asked about this data structure and all, he told that on YouTube there are so many channels and all. So he told once you start that, the full 6 months it has to be only on the data structure, and every day regularly you are learning. uh,
Thank you, sir.
I'm fresher and no job, but I'm looking. Service based company. See, uh, C nowadays there are very less opening in the C. Okay, so core Java, what you're saying, core Java is a very like maybe something 10 or 15% of what you need for a job. Okay, so along with Java, I would say you also need UI technology like JSP, React, and all these things, and on the backend side database also. So when they ask questions, they'll not be asking only on the Java part and all. They might ask you few on the database, something they might ask you on the operating system because you learned in your engineering, or they might ask you few programs and all. So all these things are there. So they can ask anything. So learning, whatever you learn is useful for you.
Yeah. So Sachin, one question here. So can we learn like only UI related stuff like React, Angular, only UI
Yes, yes,
side?
yes, yes. You can go only for this. So there are so many openings. So if you search in Naukri and all, right? you will be able to see UI developer. They'll be asking for UI developer. Where requirement is your only React. Okay. So if you see there, what you do is just go in the Naukri.com and all, just see the openings and all, and read their description. Okay. Like when they say 0 to 2 experience or 2 to 5 years experience, so they'll tell requirement. Candidate should know this, should know this. So you'll get an idea for what experience, what they're expecting. And nowadays this Jenkins and all the CI/CD pipeline are coming to picture, so they also expect a little bit knowledge on Docker, Jenkins and all this. So these things are also being asked. But
So
for a fresher, like,
what should we learn for only UI developer, Sachin?
so time we can't say. So when I say a perfect developer, he's able to design his own application.
Mm.
So you can design your own simple application. There are so many online examples. You can take maybe what you call lift operation, or maybe parking allotment, or movie ticket allotment. This kind of project, if you are able to do it on your own, then you know literally in a project entirely what happens. Then you are able to write the code. Then you are also able to commit the code using this Git or GitLab, GitHub. Then you are also able to connect this, able to save this data in database, and also literally, so that is the perfect scenario for a developer where you are able to know, like, from end to end you are able to develop the application. So for fresher and all, they might not have so much, but that should be your target. Okay, I can design my own application. That will, like, when you're doing all this kind of coding exercise and all, you learn a little bit on theoretical part also, how authorization, authentication and all is done. Only valid user, like if you take the example of Facebook, if I give wrong username or wrong password, it should give me error. So these kind of validations and all done. So all these things you'll get to know. Okay, this will come, or how that is done, how it is handled, where data is stored, how where my username is, how password, why that password should come only in dot form, what you call a hidden form. Why not a proper? So all those things are a part of security. And also when you're developing applications and all, you'll get to know. So someone said I'm from mechanical. So, like, now I don't know whether uh like some companies like Infosys and all might call mechanical into the software, but unless you don't have the course or some technology behind you, I don't think won't be calling it. So it's usually CSIS and IS with requirement of Java, OS, or some technologies in the database side. Better, I suggest you look for institute, like, there are so many in the market and all. J Spider, I have so few of my juniors, they got through J Spider. NIIT, NIIT you have, and there are so many other individuals also. So there are few institutes that what they do, they themselves have somewhere references and all this, so they try to send you to interview and all, whether they're alumni or some known people who are working in different companies and all. They try to give you a reference. So there are few what do you call institutes who take 150 200 rupees for per interview call, and that kind of, also there are few institutes, so you can look for those things also. So from wherever possible, try and get the interview calls.
So guys, unmute yourself and ask as many questions as possible so you don't get this kind of opportunity again. So when you have opportunity, please try to utilize it. So ask as much
Then
questions. Better to focus on the Java related only. Other questions you can ask to me anytime later. Institutes, other things you can ask me anytime later. I can answer. So here Java we have, so you can ask Java questions to him.
the other, those who are from non-IT background, right?
Hmm.
There in market there are different openings. That is why I'm telling, just go to your Naukri.com and all, and see what kind of job. So if you now go and search, someone here put next JS learn, it's not next next, no, Node.js, React and all. If you search, there'll be so many openings. Okay, so in that case they might not look for the background, but you should be knowing that entire UI framework. So you can read anything. So it's not that just Java and all, or only React or UI technology. There are so many others. There are properly for the database itself. There are so many openings and all. I'm a fresher. Should I learn Java or Python? See, Java and Python, there are both kinds of applications and all. Python mostly now it's used for the machine learning data and all. So it's good to know if you are already learning Java, go ahead with Java. But if you are fresher, which are comfortable, like both of
Hello,
them have the
hello, sir.
yeah.
Sir, actually, I completed C and Core Java, sir.
Okay,
I am fresher, sir. I am pursuing final year BTech.
okay.
Sir, which one is best after learning Core Java, sir?
So what was your plan for the future? Which one?
Sir, I'm looking forward for service-based companies, sir.
See, like in India, most of them are service-based companies. Okay, so if you say product-based companies, something it will be like Paytm, Zeta, where they have their own product they are developing. Okay, service-based are something like SCL, TCS, Infosys, and all, where they are providing a support to say some banking company like American Bank, where they are maintaining their applications, developing. So for a fresher, because now you are in final year, your project is very much important. Okay, so do a proper project, and you need to make sure that, like, now what happens, like mentality in college is like, okay, four of them, if they are doing project, they go outside, they give 15-20,000, they do some project. In that, maybe might out of four only one guy is who knows little bit on that. But my suggestion is you should be the primary contact. You should say, okay, you were the developer, what are the developments you did, what technology you use, what module you handle there, that you need to prove that, okay, you are the guy who did the coding in that project. So they'll ask you about your project when they want to learn. Okay, you have done some project. Okay, tell me what technology you done, how you handle that scenario.
Sir, I am for mechanical background, sir.
Oh, mechanical means so yeah, obviously, so that your project might not be relevant here in IT. Once you
Yes, sir.
come, you will have to read it, and in college only if they come, they might, in that case, they might not ask you too much, but learn Java and all. But if it is off campus, obviously, course will be a mandatory thing for you. Yeah. BCom, what should I learn after that to get a job? BCom, see now, this is something like, it's not that BCom guys doesn't have a job. Okay, so BCom, obviously, in the commerce industry there are so many jobs and all. But here mostly what we are handling is like what I can suggest, because I'm from IT background, I can suggest you something on the IT side. Okay, so here what you're asking question me how to get a job. There are multiple ways to get a job. From with your BCom degree also you can get it, or maybe after BCom you can try and complete BCA or MCA, something if it is possible, or try to do the course, some testing course and all, if not development, and try and get in IT. There are different ways.
Sir, can you tell Java interview questions, sir? Most asked Java interview questions.
Uh, it's not possible. Okay, like if I start telling you, it will take like 10 hours to give. I give you example, right? You pick each topic. Like what will happen, say now I have 1 hour to interview. So what I'll do, okay, first I'll come to primitive data types and objects. So from there I can ask you one or two questions. I'll ask you, okay, difference between string buffer, string builder. As I said, what does intern do, what is constructor chaining. So one or two questions there. Then I might go back to the exception. Then I'll say, okay, write your custom exception. In exception I can ask you one or two questions. Then I might come back to collections, and then, okay, tell me why, where to use LinkedIn, where to use hash map. So what are the changes in hash map in Java 8 and also, like this, anything, any topic and all, I can pick and I can ask. So questions are not fixed. Okay, that is why I said take 3 months of time to read the core Java alone, so that you have covered almost close to 80, 90, 95% of the questions. Java, Spring Boot, microservices, so
Sir, which
some.
type is more learned, sir? Core Java.
Sorry.
Which type is more learned in Core Java? In Core Java.
Topic, no, no, see, it's not that one single topic. Okay, so in 30 minutes interview I want to cover most of the topics, so I can ask one or two questions from whatever 5, 6, 10 different topics. So exception, collections, data types, Java 8. So these are some of the common topics that we can ask. Threads. See now, someone, I'm not getting called, you are saying, right? So if you're a fresher, only thing is you need to keep trying. That is what I said, right? There are few institutes. So nowadays, for in the market, freshers and all, I think most of the service. See, Infosys, TCS, Wipro, SCL. These are some of the companies that they hire most of the freshers. These companies itself, they have kind of put their hiring process on hold and all. Maybe they might start in few months. So my suggestion is be patient. Keep looking whatever possibilities from anywhere. Like look, go for the intro. Now, what happens in my company? They're not
Sir,
hiring
where
currently.
can I find jobs for startup companies? In Naukari, I find some companies, but where can I find more startup companies?
See, when they post a job on Naukri and all, like they won't say, okay, we are a startup or we are hiring. So it is just the company. Companies putting on their whatever that advertise for their job opening and all. So there won't be something like, okay, for startup there is a separate portal or something like that. So you keep register yourself on Shine, most of the things, but these all are useful for experience. Okay, so for freshers, like there will be hardly very few company who will be going through the what do you call it, Naukri and all to get the freshers call, because in market so many freshers and all are available. They can directly go to few colleges, or in one college just call so many from different colleges and take the interview. The process of interview is different for fresher and experience. Experience, I can, like I can get a direct call from them one on one. Okay, but for freshers it was usually okay. There is a direct walk in. They won't schedule
Sir,
you on a
one more
weekend.
thing.
See, here's Prashant is saying that in big background verification, they're asking to open your internet banking and show your company transactions. See, ideally, this is the security issue. Okay, they like these things can be, they won't, it won't be done by TCS, Infosys, this kind of companies. But small companies, ideally, nobody should be asking your internet, this one and all. You're not supposed to show, it's a data privacy issue. But because we don't have the information on these things and all, and they want to confirm, and because we want a job, so we need to do things, but this is not the ideal. That is what I'm saying. If you go for the fake, then to hide one thing, again you'll have to fake something else. So what I'm trying to suggest is look for the genuine companies who pay you less. That is still okay. Experience is what you need at this point. So now, say if you're not in Bangalore, Mumbai, Pune, Chennai, and all, getting job will be difficult. Okay. So what I suggest is come to these cities, go market. See, even if you attend one single interview, say on a weekend, you might get to know few other friends who are looking for the job. Then you get a circle where somewhere opening is there. Then those guys will let you know, or you, if you have, you can let them know all these things you can do. And other than this, there is something called IELTS. Okay, I don't know if you have heard IELTS exam. This is, I'll just ping it here. Just search on this. This they take, I think, 5 to 8,000 is something their fees, but it's a little bit tough also. Okay, like but genuinely you'll get the calls if you're, if 70 plus percentile, if you get, surely you'll get the calls. This IELTS. And then through hacker rank and all, you can keep there are also levels. Okay, so seeing those levels also, some companies give calls to the freshers and all. So if your coding skills are good, so you get called. So hacker rank is one. Hacker rank, there's something called hacker earth, and also you can just look for this kind of companies for coding. See, only thing is that nowadays market is so volatile, and not so much stability when it comes. And they keep saying, okay, in next quarter, next to next quarter, US might head into recession and all these things. This is just not English. Okay, it is English. So there are four what do you call ABCD sections. So one of them is English, and one of them is maths, and there are another two sections. So what you call your like say now you have four numbers, one nine, say one, or maybe something like 3 9, and then you have 7. So what is the next number? So these kind of questions and all will be asked in those exams. If you just see the YouTube video and all, you'll get to know. But it's not English exam. It is a combination of four different topics. Yeah, aptitude, reasoning, and all. Exactly. Yes.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Sachin, for 2 years of experience with the Java full stack developer, as of how was the market for Java developers with 2 years of experience?
See, like I would say between 2 to 7 or 9, you have for full stack developer there are a lot of openings. Okay, but when you say full stack, what is your UI technology?
React.
React. Yeah. So React with Java and all, you have a lot of openings. You can just say if you're not getting a call using Naukri and all in a normal way, what I suggest is go to LinkedIn, try and have as many contacts as possible, ping them. There'll be so many HRs and all, and on LinkedIn itself there'll be so many this coming openings and all putting. Try to get a good circle and all, ping them separately, see, ask for the openings and all. You'll get it. For full stack there are so many, there's so many guys. Like now if in my company I have openings, I take a screenshot and put it on LinkedIn.
Okay.
But full stack 2 to 9 years, you have a lot of openings. Tell me what are the things to learn for 3 to 4 years Java experience. I already said, right? So your entire core Java, few frameworks like Spring Boot, Hibernate, microservices, you can learn these things. On the database side, Oracle, MongoDB. On the UI side, JSP, HTML, CSS, Hibernate, if you can React and all, learn those. These are the good things. So there are no, see, the more knowledge you have, better it is. Can we try direct jobs for foreign companies having to? See, getting directly job and all in a foreign, this one directly, it's a big process and all. And nowadays there are so many fake consultants and all. They'll say so. You might, there are highly chances they might take you 1 or 2 lakhs from you and still not give any call and all. So for now, don't look for the foreigner. Try and get into the company, then look for the on-site or once you get the experience, you can try and apply or directly. There is some company in the US on their portal. Also, what to do? You guys look for in Google. Try and find out 100 plus companies. Like few known already, TCS, Infosys, Wipro and all. Apart from this, there are so many companies and all. Go to their website and under their careers, create your profile and upload your CV. Okay, you if there are any openings and all, they will tell you. There are so many companies. So your target is prepare a good resume with the technologies, okay? And when you put a word in your resume, you should be thoroughly prepared. Now, if you put say MongoDB, so you should be knowing how MongoDB works, why it came, when it came, some technical questions, or when you put SQL or MySQL, you should be knowing everything about that, okay? See, tips to get calls and also for freshers is totally you will have to keep struggling wherever possible and all. To get the call and all. Once you get into the job, once you even if you get a one call, you should be ready in such a way that you're able to clear that. That's the only way. So through interview is the only way where you can get the job. And getting interview, you'll have to you'll have to increase your network. Go to LinkedIn, create. So once you create a profile, look for the different companies, follow those companies because companies also they put their openings on that. Look for few HRs and all from different companies, ping them, ask for the openings and all. It's just like keep asking wherever possible. Yes, 6 months calls are less. See, those who are with the experience, React and all, if you're getting less calls, I would suggest you can invest 3-4 thousand for getting a Naukri's premium services. So whether it's Naukri, Shine, and all, they have their premium services for 3 to 6 months. They might ask you for okay, go for 6. We'll change your resume and all. You can like negotiate with them and all. Like you can take 4 to 5 thousand package and all. You say no, they'll ask you up to 11 and all if you go, but try and get a premium service from Naukri. Yeah, they'll send you a lot of openings. How to improve communication? Obviously, the only way is the more you practice, you can improve. So just like how I am able to. So once there was a time when I was in fifth, sixth standard and all. That is like I started learning ABCD in fifth standard. Okay, that time I didn't even know. So nowadays it starts from LKG, UKG and all. But when I was studying in state syllabus, it was fifth standard. Only way is your communication. So what happens is what I observed within India is like someone who is from Karnataka, Maharashtra, Andhra, they try to look their state people because comfort of communication. But my suggestion is you look someone who doesn't know Telugu or who doesn't know Kannada or who doesn't know Marathi, Hindi that way. Only if you speak more, you read more. Like whenever you find a word that you don't know meaning of, try to look into the Google. That is how your vocabulary increases. And other thing is if to improve communication, you start writing. Okay, like you take example, say what so simple thing. Security in Java or maybe something. Okay, what you if interview ask you what you know about the Java technology. So when you write the sentences, that is all when you start thinking. When you're writing, you start framing sentences in your mind. That is the only way to get it. For the other question, how to improve communication is done best backend technology like which database most. See, yeah, it's not that okay. Opening is for say Oracle and you are using MongoDB, so they are not going to call you. Okay, you should know something. So there's nothing called best and all because it keeps changing. Okay, market keeps changing. There are always new databases coming up, some improvement. So if you see Java is developed using C, and now using Java they develop another language. So it's not that, but it's good to know at least two, like SQL, no SQL, one Oracle and one MongoDB or something similar. You need to know. It's always good. What is the difference between PF and PF statement? So are you talking about this PF? You mean Provident Fund?
Okay, so that will
Hello, sir.
talk it. 1 second. So can we go with some sample Java questions? Can you people able to answer? So can we go with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Sachin, maybe you know most of the people freshers
Okay.
are less. So
Okay.
very basic questions you can ask.
Okay, I will ask you three questions. Okay, so you guys can just send your answer in this one. I'm not going to check whether everyone what you're sending is correct or no. Only thing is that, so my first question, I'll just ping you.
Yeah, better they can unmute and they can speak out. Better we will see how they will respond. Also, the answer, the way of telling answer also, we'll see.
Okay, fine. Then what I will do is, okay, can someone explain me difference between string buffer and string builder? Who want to go first? They can just unmute and let me know.
Yes, sir. Sir, string buffer, string builder, and string classes in Java. Basically, string is a mutable, sir.
Sorry, mutable? Did you say mutable?
Mutable, sir. String is a
No, string is
string is immutable.
exactly. So
But
see, we can't have this kind of
yeah,
doubts. Okay, so
yes,
we
sir,
need to
yes.
know what is the difference between mutable and immutable.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. String is
Yeah.
immutable, but it is not extend and it is not updated, sir. So it using string builder and string buffer, you can modify some string names. So some methods we have string builder, string buffer. Those are append and split method. Lot of methods we have. So you can modify the and difference between string builder, string buffer. String buffer is a synchronized and string buffer is not synchronized. So I know that type of.
Hmm.
Okay. Now on that cross question will be when you say string buffer or string builder is synchronized, then they'll ask you. They'll give a scenario where say I want where my performance should be better. So which one should I use? String buffer or string builder? So when they say performance, now how will you know between string buffer and builder which has a better performance and why? So this is a cross question. So when I decide, okay, I'm going to ask from each topic two or three questions. So on your first question, there will be true one or two cross questions.
Okay.
So now when you say one of them is synchronized and other is not synchronized, so that means whichever is the synchronized has a overhead because we need to maintain the object state and all, whether it is locked or with whether object is released. So in that case, it's going to consume some time. So then system is going to have relatively less performance. So in that case, we need to tell the answer which are the one that has a better performance or which doesn't use the synchronization concept. We can go further. So these are the cross questions. Now, if I ask you to write a custom exception class, so what are the requirements for a custom exception class?
Sir, you are asking exception handling topic.
Yes, yes, yes. So exception handling. So like when a equal to null, if you decide and then you try to compare a equal to b, you are going to get a null pointer exception. So this null pointer exception is a class which is present already in Java. So I want to write my own exception, something called say, if I give an example, voting rights are only after 18 years. So someone who tried to register on that website who is less than 18 years, so it should throw a not eligible exception. So not eligible exception is my class. So how can we write that kind of class? Or maybe in a banking application, balance is not available. So I want to throw balance not available.
I am using for the try and catch block, sir.
No, no, no. See, try and catch block is part of your exception. Writing your own exception, that is called a custom exception. You can so you can go back and read on those topics how we can write custom exceptions. You can write your own exception. So just like you have a string class, you can write your own string class.
Okay, okay, sir.
Okay. Then from Java 8, I will ask you. So if I ask you what are the new features of Java 8 that were introduced?
Yes, sir. Functional interface and optional class and Steam API and Lambda expression. Mm, I know, sir.
Huh.
Okay.
See, another thing when you're answering, right? So you need to frame a proper sentence. Okay, so Java 8. So when they ask these new features of Java 8, like you should start. Okay, Java 8. This version was launched in on so and so date. So Java 8 came with the following features. So one of them is Lambda expression. Then so what are 5 or 6 topics you have? A Lambda expression is used for this and this. Functional interface does these things. So those things, like when you ask feature, it's not that you need to stop. Okay, Lambda expression was introduced, functional interface. If you give more information about that also, they'll know. Okay, he also knows just not that what features are added, but also what those features actually mean.
Okay, okay.
Then he might ask you a cross question. Can you write an example using Lambda expression? Can you write a class, say something like you have a method, say sum, which takes a and b, and using Lambda expression you should print sum of a and b. So you can do traditional ways. You write a sum, say long sum, pass a and b, and return a plus b. But using Lambda expression, how we can do, so that also we should be knowing. So usage of actual implementation of Lambda expression also we should be knowing. Then okay, how internal working of hash map is done, how buckets are decided, or how hashing, which hashing technique is used in hash map. So these are some of the common questions. So can anybody answer what exactly hash map is, and where it can be used?
Sir, ASMAP is a collection of auto in Java. Sir, ASMAP using at the time of key value pair only. It
Okay,
u- it access the only one null value, sir. In this,
then how internally it works. So if I when I say key value pair, so can I have key as null and value as null? So these will be cross questions, okay, on each topic.
See, only one person is answering. So remaining rest of the things, whether he knows or not, he's answering. So that's the first important thing. Other people see just you. If you are on mute, then you will be on mute forever. So there is no use.
See, it's very important. Okay, unless you start to answer, you don't know. Like in your mind, you might be thinking, okay, you're preparing the sentences, but if they're not coming orally, right? That is why this mock interview helps and all. In mock interview, you'll get to know whether what you're answering, are you stammering, are you murmuring, are you properly, like what happens. That is what someone asked, how to improve communication. This is the only way. The more you speak in front of someone, or you more you go through mock interviews, stand in front of mirror and try and see. Now, if I ask you this question, stand in front of mirror and try to recite that loudly. Then you'll get to know, okay, whether you are able to form a proper sentence. Are you, is your voice clear enough so that person who is asking is able to understand. These things we'll get to know. That is how one way to improve your communication.
sir, how to ASMAP internally work, sir? Tell me, sir. ASMAP, how to internally work? I don't know that.
See, now basically what happens in hash map is it's a key value pair, okay? And in
Okay.
internally it uses a linked list. So what it does is your, for each one key there are different buckets that are created. So they use hashing techniques to have the buckets. So like key can be multiple, okay? Like I can insert one, say like ONE1 equal to 1, so digital 1. TWO2 is having a value digital 2. So one ONE1 is key and 2 is value. But these values and all internally they are stored using hashing. So hashing techniques, they use it some multiply by say some prime number, then divide by some long number and all. So they create different buckets, and inside this, that bucket is nothing but it's a linked list, and inside that linked list they store the value and all. And then while reverse it, they look for whatever now get of ONE1. If I do, you should go to that bucket only where one digital one or numeric one is stored. So for that, I need to know the hash. What is the hash of that particular bucket? So this, if you like go through in detail theoretically and all, you understand how internal. Or you can look for the. There are so many YouTube videos also. So how internally hash map works and all. What are the difference in Java 8 hash map and previous versions and all. This you can just go through in detail.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, guys. So this is how you can prepare and all. This someone asked about PF and PF statement. PF is PF Provident Fund, which your company adds to that in PF department, it's a government department where some part of your salary, 12% or your 12% contribution and company's 12% contribution is added, and it's put in PF department's account. So each company will give you one PF account for every, like, it's like you have HDFC Bank, SBI Bank, where I can have a different account number. So same way, if I'm working for SCL and TCS, I might have two different PF numbers. So in that year, currently in whichever company you're working, that company against your PF number, which is stored with the government call through UN, so unique identification number, unique account number, it is deposited into that PF account. So statement is all that sum of, like, just like your bank statement, each month how much is contributed, that you'll get it in a statement.
Okay. Any other questions, guys?
Yeah, this generic one, how to get job, how to look for interview calls and all, these are very generic. Okay, what should I learn? So whatever you learn is useful for you. Only thing is that because you are a fresher, try and get to know like as many things as possible. So you can, like, there might be only opening for a React, but if you know React as well as Java, so you can apply for React as well as Java. This one, all that you need is one opportunity to get to work, and then you can start your career in that particular technology. So as a fresher, you can't say, okay, I know only Java and I'll look only for Java. There might be few openings on the database side, so try to look that one. So try to learn as much as possible. See, this resume and all is nothing. Okay, so like it is just initially you will have your details and all. Okay, your 10th, 12th percentage and all, whatever it is. Your that address, hobbies and all, it doesn't matter. They are not so much needed for an interview. Okay, what it needs is, as a fresher, what you did in your project, what technical skills you bring to the table. That is more important. So you can add, I did so and so certification, I did so and so course. Currently, you can also mention, I solved so many questions on hacker this one, and currently I'm at this level. All these things you can add it. See, Java and React, yes, you can learn. So in the backend it will be Java, middle layer, and on the UI it will be React. So how is see, market is there for DevOps now. So there is something new called Dev Security Ops. Market is for everything. Okay, they need all kind of. Only thing is that, so for DevOps there will be separate openings. For Java, it can be like, as a full stack developer, they also ask you should have knowledge on DevOps, like how Jenkins pipeline work and all, how auto this deployment is done, auto scaling, all these things they ask. So DevOps also has a scope.
Sir, as a fresher, Spring Boot is only basic is enough or the advanced we have to learn? Sir?
See, if you know more, you'll be able to impress the interviewer. Okay, something like, if he thinks, okay, you know something that 2 or 3 years experience knows, then he'll be obviously impressed. So you can't say, okay, I know the basics. That is why I said you should be able to design application. Come to Bangalore, Chennai, those places, visit, go to there'll be so many offices and all. Go to that office. Okay, tell, I'm a fresher. I need. Do you have any kind of this kind of things, or any companies? Let me know. So per interview, I can pay all those things. You can try different things.
Okay, guys, any other questions? So we already taken so much of time from Sachin busy schedule. Even the working day, thanks a lot, Sachin, for accepting for this invite. And really, no, really, I felt very happy you to be here. And as I know, you have too good knowledge in the Java, and really, really, you spoke very well about the Java related, all the tech stack trace. Really is like, it is helpful to us. And thanks a lot for coming here.
Yeah, sure, sure. Thank you. Okay, guys.
Okay,
12 o'clock.
so if no questions, so can we wind up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
12
Okay.
o'clock. I
Okay.
have a stand up.
Once again, thanks a lot, Sachin. So how do you feel, Sachin?
Yeah, it was great talking these guys. So many questions and all. So guys, have patience. Okay, be patient. Yeah, I know freshers' life is difficult. I also took almost 6 to 8 months to get the job and all. But in this time, keeping yourself getting ready is very important. Okay, so
Yeah.
like, don't think about the result. Be process oriented. Follow the process. Keep reading. So even if you get one opportunity, you should be able to crack it. So
Yeah.
prepare yourself to that extent.
Yeah.
And
Okay. Once again, yeah, fine, fine. Okay.
Yeah,
Once again, thank you. Thanks, Sachin. Thanks a lot for coming. Thank you.
yeah,
Bye
thank
bye.
you.
Have a nice day. Thank you all. Bye bye.